Good job on your shooting assignment, everybody. I think a lot of people are learning this stuff pretty quickly. Seems to be that you're doing a great job. I wanted to do a little tutorial explaining how I made the elephant shoot in different ways. Before I do, I want you to know that it was complicated. Um, it's definitely an extra, and this is kind of my plan to give the basic things like shooting is just being able to shoot in one direction is kind of a basic thing. I want everybody to be able to do. What I'm about to show you, if you find that it's complicated, it's because it is. And it's not something that you have to do, but I did have some people asking me, so I wanted to go over it. So what I did is I took my game back to the state where the elephant can only shoot in one direction. So right now my elephant can only shoot, I just picked down, okay? And so if I go into the peanut, what you see is here's code that makes the peanut go down the screen because it changes the Y component by 10 every time. So every time the act method runs, the peanut goes down a little more every time. Okay. And what we wanted to do is make it go left or up or right or down. And the key is that it's based on the last direction of the elephant. So that means we need to keep track of which way the elephant is going. So the first thing that I do is I'm going to say the elephant is going to get a variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, we are going to make a character variable called direction. And it's going to keep track of which way the elephant's going. So I'm going to set it to left at the very start of the program. So at the very start of the program, we're just going to make that direction variable left. And I chose left just because I had to pick one. I can't just leave it blank. So I just picked left randomly. I could have picked down, I could have picked up, I could have picked right. But I'm saying that the elephant has a direction that goes along with it, and we're going to alter that direction. So I'm going to copy that little bit right there. And if I hit the right button, I'm going to change direction to R. And if I hit the left button, I'm going to make direction be L. If I hit the up button, I'm going to set direction to be U. And if I hit the down button, I'm going to set it to be D. And when I make my bullet, when I make my peanut, I want to include this information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to make a new peanut, but I'm going to include the direction. And I do that just like I did here. I say new peanut, and I put in the brackets direction. And this means, and you notice I have an error, I'm going to fix it in a minute, but what it means is that when I create a new peanut, I have to include the direction or else the computer won't know what to do. So I've changed elephant the way I want it. Now I have to go change peanut. And you'll notice that peanut has an act method, but it doesn't have what we call a constructor. So I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to tell the peanut that the peanut, you're also going to have a direction. Now, just to make it clear that this is the peanut's direction, I'm going to name it differently. So I'm going to call it dir. Okay? And let's just say at the start, the peanut is going to move to the left. Okay? And again, I just don't want to leave it blank. Now, what I want to do is say every time somebody makes a peanut, and that's in the constructor. So I type public peanut. And normally when I'm making a constructor, I do it like this. So this is what we call a constructor, and this code that I put here will happen once and once only. But what's different this time is that when I create a peanut, I'm including one piece of information, and that piece of information is a character, a char variable, a character, meaning it's just one letter, and that determines the direction that the peanut is going to go. So right here, I put char, and I'm just going to put D. What this means is that if someone makes a peanut, they have to include a character, and that character is going to wind up being the dir of the peanut. So I put this right here. That little line means that whatever the user includes as information when they make the peanut is going to take the place of L. It's going to become dir. And now I can go down here and say if dir is left, well, then I want to move left. And I can kind of copy this, and I'm just going to get this pieced together. So I'm going to make one for right, I'm going to make one for up, I'm going to make one for down, and right here, I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to paste it here. And if I go left, that means I want to subtract from the x coordinate. I don't want to do that. If I want to go right, then I'm going to add to the x coordinate. If I want to go up, then I'm going to subtract from the y coordinate. And if I want to go down, then I'm going to add to the x coordinate. I'm just making a couple little syntax errors. There we go. So let's trace it through one more time. Oh, I still have an error. Why do I have an error? So if I include that, that looks good. Peanuts constructor, do I need to compile? Yeah, I just had to hit the compile button there, and now everything seems to be working. So when the elephant is moving around, I'm continually tracking the direction. When I hit the space bar, the last direction that the elephant moved is sent through as information to make a new peanut. That information comes in as what's called D, and that determines the dir of the peanut. If the dir is L, it moves left. If it's R, it moves right. If it's U, it moves up. And if it's D, it moves down. Let's test it. So we're going to move left. It works. We're going to move right. It works. Move up and move down. And there you go. And that is how you control the direction of the shot.